Hey, good people. This is the Confessions of a Nail Tech podcast. I'm your host, Rashida H. Muhammad, nail tech affectionately known as Ra. I have so much to share with you this evening. Welcome. Let's get started. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I just really had to fake the funk for these last couple of weeks. Grad school has officially started. And you know what? It hasn't even been a couple of weeks. It's only been 1 week. And I wish you could see the bags under my eyes. This degree is no joke. I know this podcast is about nails and the nail salon industry, but ladies and gentlemen, if you are pursuing an education, higher education, pursuing your license, or anything to better your situation and finances, make sure you're getting your rest. You know, that's completely off topic for what I'm going to talk about this evening, but I just felt the need to drive that home because I know someone listening needed that message. Get your rest. Get your rest. Trust me, that project will still be there later. Rest in the meantime. It is so important because, and I know it's cliche, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. And y'all, I am exhausted. I am exhausted. I am. But on the up and up, I wanted to talk about why the cost of nails is so dang on expensive. Yeah, I want to talk about that. I talk about it a little bit on my blog, Confessions of a Nail Tech blog, .wordpress.com, where I go into detail about why your clients may complain about the cost of a full set of nails or just the cost of a salon visit and in a whole. So let's get into it. So yesterday I posted on the Confessions of a Nail Tech blog .wordpress.com site. Make sure you visit. And it's titled, Why is my full set of nails so expensive? And quite honestly, if I had $1 for every time I heard this or saw a post or saw the memes about 1993 prices for 2021 nail salon set of nails, I'd be pretty rich. I wouldn't have to grind as hard as I did if I had $1 for every time I heard that. Why is it so expensive? Well, Rob, why is it this? Why is it that? And every now and again, you will get the customer or the client who is aware of the quality of work that you do and how much it costs for you to purchase product in order to provide the service. And seldom does that happen, but for every 5 clients I service, at least 3 of them wonder why the price is so high or don't want to pay a deposit. But that's for a later that's for a later discussion. So yeah, I talk about it on the blog and I go into detail about why the cost is so expensive now versus 1993. And simply put, inflation, commodity costs. And inflation, it does cause the price of goods and services to rise because the cost to produce these goods and services rise. So naturally, it's relative. It's directly related to the cost of inflation, the cost of services. So if the gas and oil that needs to produce the cargo to get from China or Japan or wherever you have your products coming from, or even just the gas coming from Memphis to Atlanta, we have to pay for that. We have to pay for the manufacturing. We have to pay for the product itself. Licensing costs money. Running a business costs money. So we have to recoup that. You know, we are nail technicians, but we are business women and men first. We are businesses first. And I read through about, maybe about 10% of the comments, and all of them were almost bashing nail salons for what they think is overpriced, what clients think is overpriced. And it was a little disheartening because, again, I've been in this business for some time. And yes, I have, as a consumer and as a professional, I have seen prices of salon visits go up. The cost of living has gone up. So naturally, the things that you want and your needs and your wants, the price to get those things will go up. For example, look at the price of gas over the years, or look at the price of a gallon of milk over the years. If simple necessities like that are going up, you better believe the price to get your nails and hair done is going to go up too, because it costs us more money to get these services, right? And you want to be wary of clients who just want anything on their nails, slap anything on their nails, because the cheaper products, as I mentioned before, they're not as safe on your nails, or should be nowhere near your body. But people use them and can charge cheap salon prices. But if you go to someone like me who uses quality products or name brand products, or is nosy about the ingredients in their products, then you are going to pay more, because I pay more. So if you are struggling with, and before I give this advice, you shouldn't have to justify your price at all to anybody. You set your price, that's your price. There's no haggling, no price matching. If you set your price, that's what your price is. If the person doesn't want to pay it, you better believe there's going to be someone else who wants to pay it. But furthermore, if you are in the position where the customer genuinely wants to know why your prices are what they are, I don't see anything wrong with working it into the conversation as you provide your service. That was one of the things that I used to do when I worked in the salon. For example, I had a woman who did not know what she wanted on her nails. And that happens a lot. It does. Even with men, they don't know what they want. They don't know if they want the buff shine, or if they want the clear gel, or if they want the clouded gel. They don't know. So it's our job to educate them and do the right thing when we are, do our due diligence when we are giving advice, listening, and suggesting the best service option for your clients. So I had a woman, she didn't know if she wanted a manicure, if she wanted acrylic nails, if she wanted dip powder nails or gel or whatever, because she doesn't get her nails done frequently. So with a customer who does not get their nails done often, and they name 5 different things that they want on their nails, learn what it is that they want their nails done for. That's my thing. Is there a special occasion? Do you just want them for the weekend? Are you trying to impress somebody? Are you trying to get attention? Learn those things and then suggest from there what they should get on their nails. If they're someone who plays sports, play the piano, play an instrument with any kind that requires them to use their hands, there's absolutely no reason why you should be slapping a pair of stiletto nails or coffin nails above 2 inches on their finger. It just doesn't work. It makes no sense, because they're going to break, pop off, injury, or what have you. But anyway, I just felt the need to say that too, because there's probably someone listening like, well, Ra, I'm uncomfortable having those conversations with my clients. I usually just sit down and I do my job. That's wonderful. That makes you a good nail technician. But what makes you a great nail technician is servicing your client and their needs, and then walking out happy because you service their needs. And they have beautiful nails. So I would sit down, and as I'm doing the service, assess what she wants. So she only wanted them done for the weekend, but she wanted some length and she wanted them to last. So of course I suggest dip powder. And as I'm suggesting the dip powder, I noticed that she certainly does need a manicure. So I'm mentioning these things and also letting her know the price. So you think of it, when you come into the salon, it's a customized experience. I'm going to write that down. So when you visit a nail salon, it's a customizable experience. And what I mean by customizable is we usually have a menu, or pricing is available online, or pricing is posted somewhere in the salon that tells you the base price of your service. A basic manicure, a basic pedicure, all of that, it shows you. So if it starts A manicure starts at $18, and then you realize, hey, I could really go for some acrylic on top of this manicure. So those are two different prices, but you're adding them together. Therefore, yes, your bill is going to be more expensive. An acrylic full set will never be $18 in my shop. It just won't. Never, 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 never. And you have to make sure you're mentioning these things to the client. So I'm mentioning, okay, so the manicure is 18, and if you want to do the full set of dip powder or SNS as we called it, it's 45. And as I'm going through the charges, I noticed she did not budge. Money was no option. And I realized, okay, this is a special occasion. So what kind of style are you looking for? And sometimes the clients will show you a picture, and sometimes they'll say, I don't know, freestyle. And if they tell me to freestyle, I start to immediately mention how much it is for me to freestyle. You know, 2 designs for however much, or if you want a full hand of blinged out nails, this is what it's going to cost you in addition to this. And again, if your client does not budge at the price you're saying, keep going. And then confirm before the end of that order, is this what you want? Before we start, I just want to make sure I know we're doing a manicure, we're doing a full set of SNS, and we are doing a customized set. You want one finger with gems on it. Yes? Okay. All right. So then that brings your bill upwards $65 because this is a woman who just wants it for the weekend. She wants them to last, to look nice for a while. These are a short set of full nails, you know, $45. I'm not charging you additional money for a short set of nails. So you got $45 plus your 18 and one fingernail with gems on it. So that's $5 because Swarovski crystals are expensive. So $5. How much is your total? Right. So you let them know that before we get to the register. Yes, you let them know that before we get to the register. And then during that conversation, as you're doing their nails and getting more intel about the event and why they want this thing to be special and what's going on this weekend, you let them know what products you're using, where you get them from, the benefits of that product, and why it's good for them. Simple. Yeah? So in that regard, you have worked in the benefits of the product. You've learned what the client wants. You've also been able to upsell a little bit because you learned if it's a special occasion, what they're doing. Are they looking for something fancy? And there. That's a $68 sale. And sometimes they tip, sometimes they don't. But hey, $68 is good for one client. It is. And in that time frame, you have then explained why your salon prices are so expensive. Because if I'm using Kiara Sky, that's $15 for just the powder, the color powder. That's $15 for the base. And that is also $25 for the prep, the gel resin, the activator, and the finishing gel. And then an additional maybe $35 if you add in the brush cleaner. So I've already broke even with that sale for my Kiara Sky set. But that's just for one color, right? You have to do that every time you get a new color of Kiara Sky dip powder, or any dip powder, really. I've seen some as low as $9, and I've seen some as expensive as $25. And that also depends on the ounce. How many ounces of the product are you getting? Yeah. In that one visit, you broke even. And that's good. That's okay. But we want to make profit. Yeah. Another example happened to me recently, actually. I was gathering some last minute supply that I needed for a client. And I've only kept one client since leaving the salon. Only one. I knew my life was getting ready to get a little busy. So having multiple clients and doing what I'm trying to do just was not feasible. Nonetheless, I was in the salon's nail supply store. And I'm getting up my little last minute knickknacks and patty whacks. And then I say, oh, I need some gloves. And mind you, this is during COVID. And gloves were in high demand but limited supply. And if you're taking an economics course, guess what? You know what that means. The price went up. And the regular box of 100 count non-latex gloves used to be $4.95. And I love going to this one nail supply store out on Jonesboro Road. If you're in Georgia, Trend Beauty on Jonesboro Road is the bee's knees. And it used to be $4.95 for 100 count non-latex. I went to that same supply store during COVID, had my mask on, had my list, and I went over to get some gloves for that same box of 100 count non-latex gloves. Let me tell you how much that was. I'll give you $1 right now if you think it's something absurd. If you could guess, I will cash up you $1 right now. If you could tell me how much you think that box of gloves was. I'm going to tell you anyway. That same box of 100 count non-latex gloves was $9. The price doubled in the matter of a couple of months because of COVID. And there was a limited supply, but high demand. Crazy. It was more expensive because they knew people needed these gloves and would pay more for these gloves. And I looked, and at that same moment, I realized the parallel between customers and service providers. We are presented with choices. We can either go without the service or products or find it cheaper somewhere else. Guess what I did? I just went without it because I had enough to do what I had to do for the day. And I wasn't stressing over a $10 box of $10 box of 100 count gloves when it's usually almost $5. So the price doubled. So the next time someone tries to fight you or argue with you about your prices, understand the price doubled for us too. Therefore, we have to make our money back. So tell me what you think. I'm always interested in hearing from you all. Tell me what you think about this. Whenever you see or hear clients say, well, that's too expensive, or why are they so back in such and such? They used to be $25 for a full set. I used to do this for $18. My filling used to be $10. Oh, okay. Show them your receipt for when you go to the nail supply store. And I bet that hush up all that fuss. But we're going to take a break. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. The best part? You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I know this is the break right now, but I need you to do me a favor. Follow me on social media right now at Nails by Ra. That's Ra, R-A-H, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nails by Ra. That's R-A-H. Also, if you have any questions, please email me with any nail tech related questions at nailsbyra gmail.com. So hopefully I didn't lose you all on my tangents or my beautiful anecdotes about my time in the salon and what it's like and why prices have risen for salon services. I saw, and this had to be maybe last year or the year before last, there was a salon that itemizes on their receipt how much each service is and what they charge, which I think is a wonderful thing to implement into your practice. So if there's ever any discrepancy between the price and what the customer agreed to, you have it all in your receipt book, you back it up on your ticket book, and you have a verbal agreement, you know. Unfortunately, we live in a time where the proof has to be documented. Well, maybe that's not so unfortunate, but you know what I mean. We live in a time now where your word isn't good enough. So you have to have that additional proof for your argument, to support your argument as far as pricing. And you wonder, well, is it worth it? Is this worth it? In short, I think yes. Because you look at, when you get into this industry, you do an assessment, okay? You target your audience and you have to ask yourself, does my target audience have enough disposable income to fund the kind of services that I want to provide them without argument? Think about it for a minute. Does your ideal client have that kind of income that's disposable? And disposable income meaning the income left over after they've paid their bills, after they've contributed to their savings. Disposable, just any extra income laying around. Is that sum large enough to produce the amount of money that I need in order to provide a service that you want every 2 weeks without an argument? Think about it. Seriously. Because the most revenue you're going to get if you just provide a service, meaning you're not selling any of the products that you have, you're not doing a podcast, you're not doing additional things to add to your pot of wealth. If you strictly do nails and that is all you do, and you rely heavily on repeat clientele, for one client, is $60 per month enough for a regular manicure for that one client? And let's say that they want gel and they want to come in every week. So that's $120 per month from that one client. And during a recession, a depression, during a global pandemic, is $120 a month feasible for the kind of clientele that you want? And if the answer is yes, then by gosh, daggone it, you are in the money. You are golden, pony boy. I love using that phrase. Stay golden, pony boy. It just means stay optimistic. Stay sweet. You know, you have to. So let me know what you think. Be sure that you're following the conversation because I do tweet. Oh, and I do have a Twitter now. So I do tweet about this at Nails by Ra at length. And although no one really responds back as much as I thought they would, but it's there. You know, Twitter was new for the Nails by Ra brand, even though I've had a personal Twitter for years, but it's always interesting. So that's my little nugget that I want to leave you all with. That's how you determine your price, and work in the explanation of your pricing to your client so that they're aware. You're not sitting down and getting any cheap frills out of me. I'm going to tell you what my price is, and that's my price. You've seen my work. My nails stay done, and they look nice. And this is what you get. You know, $65 every salon visit, that's feasible. You pay that on your hair and then some. You pay that on your nails and then some. And if I do have someone who is not a nail technician or works in the salon at any capacity, just listening for educational purposes, change your behavior within if you are someone who thinks that salons charge too much. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I just really had to fake the funk for these last couple of weeks. Grad school has officially started. And you know what? It hasn't even been a couple of weeks. It's only been 1 week. And I wish you could see the bags under my eyes. This degree is no joke. I know this podcast is about nails and the nail salon industry, but ladies and gentlemen, if you are pursuing an education, higher education, pursuing your license, or anything to better your situation and finances, make sure you're getting your rest. You know, that's completely off topic for what I'm going to talk about this evening, but I just felt the need to drive that home because I know someone listening needed that message. Get your rest. Get your rest. Trust me, that project will still be there later. Rest in the meantime. It is so important because, and I know it's cliche, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. And y'all, I am exhausted. I am exhausted. I am. But on the up and up, I wanted to talk about why the cost of nails is so dang on expensive. Yeah, I want to talk about that. I talk about it a little bit on my blog, Confessions of a Nail Tech blog, .wordpress.com, where I go into detail about why your clients may complain about the cost of a full set of nails or just the cost of a salon visit and in a whole. So let's get into it. Before I get out of here, I need to do my shout outs because I love hearing from you all, especially when I go on my little hiatuses in between shows. I'll be honest, I love it. I love when you all keep reaching out to me because it makes me feel really good that my podcast is inspiring people to build their own personal brands and take themselves more seriously as salon professionals. That was the goal here, and you guys make it so possible. So possible for me. So I would love to shout out Miss Gloria Sprager at the.pa.nail.artist because she just rocks. She is probably my virtual godmother. So I just love seeing the great things that she's doing out there in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Check her out at the.pa.nail.artist. Also, shout out to My Canvas. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but she checked in with me this last Tuesday on my wind down Tuesdays when the semester started Monday and by Tuesday I was over it. So I poured the biggest glass of wine and wind down. I had to. So thank you for Moi Canvas for checking in with me and enjoying some wine on that wonderful Tuesday evening with me because I appreciate it. All this is virtual too because of COVID, and then Moi is out in the UK, so maybe I'll take that trip across the pond, but cheers to you. Thank you so much. Shout out to my newest follower at Christy Shrimp. She reached out to me not too long ago and her words of encouragement were wonderful. It warms my heart so much to know that I am helping someone realize their own potential. Really, you all have no idea. I wished something like this existed when I was getting it out the mud at first and just having those words of encouragement and hearing similar salon stories, because I know I share my salon stories, and while they are unique to me, I'm very sure that these have happened in some capacity or greater to someone else. So I really do appreciate you all for checking in and chiming in and finding me and sharing my podcast, because that is all I ever love. Trust me, I get emotional every time I do my shout outs because you guys really don't know. I'm inspiring you, but you all are really inspiring me to keep going. I appreciate this. And also, last but certainly not least, shout out to at Aesthetics by P. Brown University. Check her out. Just check them out, because this winter weather, on top of being in the house and having a terrible diet, has done something crazy to my skin. So I'm going to check them out. So until next time, make sure you shout out at Nails by Ra and check in with me. Hey there. I felt long-winded today, and I know we covered quite a bit. We covered quite a bit today, but I wanted to give you a recap just in case you missed anything. Today's topic was, why are my full set of nails so expensive? And I talk about why they are. Inflation is the number one cost. I also talk about setting your price and owning it. I also talk about working in the price into your conversation as you're providing your service. And furthermore, never buckle. You never let anyone haggle you for your price. Your price is your price. All right, until next time. Thank you for tuning in to the Confessions of a Nail Tech podcast. I've been your host, Rashida H. Muhammad, Nail Tech affectionately known as Ra. Make sure you tune in next week, Tuesday, for our next episode. Looking forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, subscribe to the Confessions of a Nail Tech podcast and make sure you stay in the loop by following me across the board on social media at Nails by Ra. Also visit me at www.nailsbyra.com. Until next time.